Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the webinar of Jababeka Talk, here live at Zoom. So this is Jababeka Industrial Estate will keep making webinars like this for our service excellence to all of our customers. I hope this will be beneficial for all of you, especially for today's topic. It's very interesting. But before that, I'm going to introduce our speakers for today. So we are live from our places here. Please be safe during this outbreak and stay with us for the next 40 minutes. There will be a prize for 3 best questions at the end of this webinar. An OVO cash, 200,000 digital cash transferred directly to your OVO account. So if you have any questions during these webinars, please type it on the question and answer columns along with your name and your phone number so we can reach you after the webinar. And we will answer your questions during the question and answer sessions after all of the presentation. So today's topic of our discussion is how to raise capital through private investors. What a really interesting topic, because maybe this is a good opportunity during this outbreak. Who knows? We need to consider to grow our business because especially next year there is a forecast of economic growth in Indonesia. It will grow up to 8%, and of course we need to anticipate. Okay, maybe let's get into the discussion. Mr. Liauw, we will have a lot of questions here for you, starting from what is private investor, and then the benefits of dealing with private investor, and how is the investment process. Okay, maybe without further ado, we can show you also the slideshow of the presentation from Mr. Liauw through this app. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Liauw.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for participating in this webinar, which I think is, like Michelle mentioned earlier, is probably quite timely in light of the current corona crisis, which lead to a very serious economic globally. And I don't think we have seen anything like this ever, because the previous financial crisis, the U.S. depression, the 1998 Asian financial crisis, and then the 2008 global financial crisis only affect certain countries. But here, is global. Every country is affected in all aspects of our life, including, of course, our business and economy. So, and I'd like to mention firstly about a few words about Redwood Capital. Redwood Capital is a financial advisor focused in cross-border and capital raising for primarily Indonesian businesses and companies. And I think, again, as I mentioned earlier, the timing I think is very good because because of the crisis, I'm sure number of companies, businesses would face some financial challenges and sources of the traditional capital of funds like bank borrowings, IPOs, and then corporate high yield bond market is pretty much closed now because banks are very reluctant to lend money, and also as we all know, the capital market, public market, stock market globally has suffered downturn, especially in Indonesia, and also the bond market, for the high yield corporate bond market now is, no investors would be interested to buy those bonds because of the rupiah close to 16,000, and they're worried about the issuer whether they will be this crisis 12 months from now. On the other hand, we deal with the non-traditional source of capital, namely the private investors. Maybe we can go to the next slide, please. Okay, well, before that, maybe I think we'll cover the topics that we'll talk about in this. Going to 4 different areas. I think that the first, private investors, basic capital, and then secondly, why the private investors, and then the third areas will cover how these private investors value businesses, and then the last topic will be the process, how to raise this fund or capital through this. Maybe we can go to the next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so definition of private investors. Who are private investors? So private investors mainly private equity investors, the pension fund, the global pension funds, and the sovereign wealth fund. The private equities, there are many private equities in the world. They raise the funds from pension fund and sovereign wealth fund and ultra high net worth individuals, and then in turn invest those funds in different businesses, different companies globally. And the pension funds, for that, the private equity globally now has about $2.5 trillion of funds, or what we call an algorithm, meaning the funds that has been committed to be invested globally. Next slide, please. Okay, so the investment that you can raise, or the capital, the fund you can raise from these investors are divided into equity and then debt. Stock, right? So they will invest in company stock, various businesses, different sectors. The $400 billion that I mentioned earlier from private equity, and then even more funds from the pension fund and from the sovereign wealth fund, GIC Temasek, and then an equity investment, meaning they buy. Company will raise fund or capital by selling some of their shares in the company. And these shares are divided into two categories mainly. They can raise fund, capital, or growth equity. Growth equity means instead of borrowing from banks or going to IPOs or issue bond, they can raise funds from those three private investors that I mentioned earlier. But the growth equity, substantial minority, meaning the companies will sell less than 50% of the company shares. Next slide, please. Yeah. Okay, that's equity. Okay, so the funds can be in the form of equity, stock, shares. Company shareholders say, well, we don't want to sell any shares of our company, but we need $50 million, we need $100 million by this borrowing. So land, but they're not selling shares at all, but they'll raise capital through debt. But these debts are not provided by banks, but by the PEs, some of the big PEs, beside in equity investment that they do, they also provide debt credit to borrowers. That's one source for the big private equity, and the second source is what we call the credit funds or the private debt lenders. At this point, we can help our clients to raise between $10 million of debt. So I think this is a very, very important, especially with Indonesian family-owned businesses, where the management are probably not quite different than global multinational companies are managed. They're much more, as we all know, they operate in many countries, and they have very strong management, financial management, operational efficiency, branding, and so on. So these are what we call the operational value creation that the private investors, and especially private equity, will contribute to the company. Next slide, please. Okay, now we're going to go into the area, the fourth area. This is the valuation of the company. How these private investors value the company, business that they invested in. Next slide. Okay, so it's very simple. Namely, any business, whether it's a major five-star hotel or a pharmaceutical manufacturing company or a F&B, food and beverages company, hospital chain, the way they value all these businesses are quite simple. Namely, they look at the EBITDA. The EBITDA is the earning before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. Gross profit of the company. Okay, so they look at the EBITDA, because the EBITDA reflect how well a business is being managed, how profitable, with capital of the company, the operation, what is the earning, how efficient is the company operation, financial management before the crisis. The enterprise value for in Southeast Asia for cross-border mergers and acquisition, for controlled investment, meaning the investors, the private investors will buy or will invest more than 50% the shares in the company or controlled investment. The multiple was 14.5 times of EBITDA, which is the highest in history. That is before the crisis. The EBITDA multiple will be low. Still, the valuation which is afforded by these private investors is much higher than the valuation if a company choose to list the companies in the Indonesian stock market. So the company will benefit by dealing with private investors, because they will get a much higher valuation of the company than going public. Because going public, the valuation is in the Indonesian stock market has been quite low in the last 5 years, and not mentioning the operational value creation that the private investors, mostly PEs, will company, the business. Next slide, please. Okay, now we cover after all those said, what is the process? If a company, Indonesian company, like to raise $50 million, $100 million from these private investors. Next slide, please. Yeah, okay. So, in the equity investment, the time frame usually is 6 months or longer. But for the debt credit, if you raise capital or funds from credit, it's much shorter. The time frame for the credit is usually between 6 weeks to 8 weeks. Much shorter time frame than for equity investment. And then the process starts with the collection of the company provide information, complete information about the company, financial, operational, management. Because the company has all these private investors. They are very global. They are very sophisticated. They're very highly professional. So they like to know. So we have to be very transparent, very open with them. So we provide as much information as possible to show how good the company is, and then we, Redwood, in turn, with those, based on those, we discuss with the owner, with shareholders, with the management, financial, management, product, market, and everything. And then based on that, we prepare what we call a teaser. Teaser is 2-3 pages, which summarize the business of the company, market shares, branding, and then potential growth. And then after the teaser, we also will inform, which is a more comprehensive document which cover more details about the companies that want to raise fund. And then after that, if the investors like the company, like the sector, like the scale, because all these private investors that we're dealing with, they're huge. Their minimum investment for equity is about $30 million. If they like the company, the sector, the scale, then they'll engage in a very in-depth detailed discussion with the shareholders, with top management, and that might take a few months, and then they'll visit the company, plants, the factories, all the on-site due diligence. Next slide, please. And they will come up with a written non-binding bid or offer for the business, for the company. Let's say the owner want to raise fund by selling 40% of the shares of the company. Valuation, let's say that they agreed. The investors, the private investors think the right valuation, fair valuation of the company is 12 times EBITDA. Then they'll prepare what you call a non-binding bid. But let's if the EBITDA is $10 million, then the EV will be about $120 million. And then if they raise 40 million, 50 million, then they'll proceed to the due diligence, which cover several areas: financial, legal, operational, and due diligence. Normally, it takes about 1 to 2 months to finish this. And then if everything goes well, due diligence process, they don't find any material surprises and discrepancies, then they will the investors will prepare SPA or sales and purchase agreement, and then both investors and the Indonesian company shareholders will engage lawyers to draft the shareholders agreement, which is binding agreement, legally binding agreement about what they discussed, what the plan is, the shareholders, how to further expand the company's business, the product, how much more investment, all the detail, next 5 years, 3 years, what are the plans, the business plan to grow the business, to expand the business, to invest in more equipment, to build another factories, new factories. All this agreement put down in the shareholders agreement, which is binding. That meaning none of the investors or the Indonesian company shareholders can change that. So basically, this is my presentation. If there's any question about that, I would be answer the questions.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank
James.
you.
Yeah, Mr. Liauw. Maybe before we jump into the question and answer session from our audience, I would ask you some questions from my personal thoughts. Given the condition of the outbreak like this, do you think there's an opportunity for the business right now to be considered to have the investment? Because right now, maybe if the valuation process during the way, and then we all know that the condition right now, the business are going very low. The economy is very low. Is it impacting the decision of the private investors?
Yes, in certain ways, yes. Of course, definitely the valuation, right, will be impacted, right? Because the revenues are down. As a company just for the XYZ, the revenues or the sales is down by 30%, right? That will impact their EBITDA, right? It's the earning, the gross profit. So since the valuation of the company is based on the multiple of the EBITDA, if the EBITDA changes become lower, that means the valuation of the company will be lower too. Right? And so that is direct impact, right? Of course, but now are still raising huge amount of funds, right? Because why? Because now they can invest in companies which, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, before the crisis, the multiple, EBITDA multiple for Southeast Asia controlling investment deal was 14.5 times EBITDA.
You are also saying that most of Indonesian businessmen are making family businesses, and
Yes.
And most of them are not yet going to IPO. So will that also affect? And maybe do you have any tips for the businessmen right now so they would have approval or a bigger chance of accepted for the private investors?
Is that again, please?
Yeah, do you have any tips for the businessmen right now to achieve the funds?
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, the most important thing is this private investors or institutional investors. They're very disciplined. They're very they have a very they're very focused. They only look at certain sectors. They look at the company scale, management, quality, and I think that is for many family businesses in Indonesia. I think part of the because many of them are still being quite traditionally managed, and this is going forward. This will be a big challenge because many foreign investors are coming to Indonesia. these international investors are usually more sophisticated, better managed, financial operations, all different aspects of the business. So I think it's very, very important for Indonesian family businesses to adopt all this modern management, modern financial management, control, operation, efficiency, using the latest technology, production in order to pay value, high quality items, products, rather than and branding, right? It's very, very important. So these are the factors I think are very, very important for family-owned businesses to be open-minded and willing to change.
Okay, and can you please elaborate a little bit about the credit funds? Because maybe we've heard right now about the private equity.
Yes.
Can you please elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, credit funds. Okay, the debt just now we were talking about equity investment. Okay. On the debt side, the debts if the borrower, Indonesian companies, say, no, we don't want to sell, but we need $50 million, but we like to borrow. So the private credit are mainly from two sources, and the private equity investors themselves, big one, they private debt operation, so they give loans too, not only equity. Yeah. And the credit fund is the raise fund specifically to give loan. Right? So we have two sources of debt. In this case, the credit fund. These are mostly from the US, regional, Hong Kong based, European based, some Singapore based credit fund. But the big ones are all mostly from the US. The raise fund, especially to act like banks, giving loans. Right? Of course, their process is a little bit different. They're faster, they're more flexible than banks. Right? And as I mentioned earlier, the private debt on the side, we can between 10 million up to 150 million dollars US dollars. Yeah.
Wow, so that's a very huge amount of funds, and listening to your explanation about the private equity, that they don't only give the funds but also provide the insights to develop this business to the next level. That's very interesting, and also about the credit fund. Maybe that's right now the businesses during this crisis maybe having these kind of difficulties because the banks they no longer can help much during this situation. And what about some companies who would like to relocate or upgrade their buildings? They want to, for example, maybe building a new plant for their manufacturing. Can they also have these credit funds?
Yes, they will look at of course, that will be based a lot on the existing business, right? If this is a very big company, very established, reputable companies with solid, financial management, reputation, that they'll base the credit fund. We will look at that as the basis of the comfort. Right? So they look at the borrowers much more from business point of view. Right? How strong is the cash flow? How strong is the product, management, brand, company reputation? So these are, if these factors provide comfort to them, they'll definitely consider giving that loan.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
I think the viewers right now is very curious too about is there any special consideration, like what kind of business line that would be prioritized, or any business line can join?
Mainly, we like quite many sectors. Right? The sectors would be like consumers product, healthcare, financial. Of course, healthcare healthcare supply chain covers a very wide spectrum of businesses, from hospital, from pharmaceutical, manufacturing company, medical equipment, diagnostic lab, like Prodia, industry manufacturing, F&B, right, and beverages, manufacturing companies, and financials, education, like education space, and any company that has good product, good brand, not necessarily, we don't really like commodity products, meaning products that have no very low margin and very easy to enter. We like businesses that has certain barriers of entry.
So those kind of businesses will have a bigger chance for the public investors to invest in.
The private investors, yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Liauw. Maybe speaking of investment, I'm going to Pak Rudy right here.
Yes.
Pak Rudy, do you think in this kind of situation we need to save our money, or maybe there's a chance to invest our money? What is the best investment right now?
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Pak James. Your presentation is very interesting. I think, like Pak James' presentation, we open-minded.
Yeah.
That now the business is running actually. This is interesting actually, Pak James and Michelle. Yeah. I can categorize 3 line of business that now actually happen in our in industry. Yeah. First, maybe the industry that impactful because of the pandemic, they postpone. This is maybe around 10%. Second, the line of business that can transformation, Pak James, because of this situation is very hard for them. Then the transformation, the business is very interesting. Some of them is the automotive part supplier, because now automotive is very slow and maybe some of them is closing. They change the business, Pak James and Michelle. Now they produce the ventilator.
Yeah.
This is very interesting, What I'm talking this year, in our industrial estate, this happen. The third line of business is like we said last time, the business is not impact actually of the pandemic. Like I said again, pharmaceutical, consumer goods, food and beverage, chemical,
Still running, yeah.
Still running, and the interesting yesterday I interviewed my customer, Pak James. She have a business in the food and beverage. Yeah, okay, we said that in ketchup business, their business is increased 50%, Pak James, because this is very interesting.
Because of the new way of living, because of this pandemic.
Yes, because now maybe I don't know, Mr. Pak James. Now many people stay at home, work from home. Maybe they're cooking a lot.
They cook now.
Yeah.
They don't go out to restaurant anymore.
Yeah.
They cook, so they buy a lot of stuff.
Yes. Yeah, this is very interesting.
And also, maybe I can add a little bit.
Yeah.
Every crisis always create new opportunities.
True,
Yeah,
true.
I agree.
Because of this work from home thing. Now they things like Zoom and all this
Application,
all this application,
Yeah.
the cloud
Yeah.
business, each data center, certain technology, that space, the cloud, all this has tremendously increased. Yeah? that include the data centers, investment in data centers, in cloud, and business.
Yeah, I can add to Pak James. Like you said, yeah, everybody maybe know gold price is very high. Like Pak James said, now we have IDR almost 16,000. What is the best investment now? I think, yeah, Pak James, the investment that not collection until now is the property. The property investment, of course, the premium location, premium property. Yeah, I can little bit sponsor Pak James, like Jababeka Industrial Estate. So this is like Jababeka Industrial Estate, Pak James. This is the premium property location. Yeah, I can little bit share about our industrial estate that we are already established for 30 years. That we have 5,600 hectares. Then we have already transformation, Pak James, from the industrial estate to become a township. What is township? Township is a harmony between the residential, commercial, and industry. We want to share how can the Jababeka can transformation like this, because we want to give the best to our customer. Then the industrial, the businessman in Jababeka can running the business, can stay in the home, and they can go to the food commercial area, like we have Redwood, we have Liauw Junction, we have golf, and we have something like that. Little bit share Pak James and audience about the Jababeka Industrial Estate.
Okay, thank you, Pak Rudy. So in this time of pandemics, actually creates opportunities, like Mr. Liauw said, and one of them is this is the right time to invest in property, like Pak Rudy said. Yeah, okay, and based on your experience, Pak Rudy, over the recent months since the outbreak, how is the market trend in Jababeka Industrial Estate?
Yes, of course. The market trend maybe now is a little bit slow. Everybody is slow. But Jababeka is committed to support all the tenant, support all the customer or the prospect, because we want to show to our tenant and our customer that we are full committed to support and services all the customer in any way, in any circumstances. And like our tagline, yeah, Jababeka is the beyond property. This is the this is the interesting of me. So if Michelle said about the market trend, we still optimistic.
Can I add?
Yes, Pak James.
I think it's trivial. So and this is just a temporary setback. In fact, actually, a good time to invest is during crisis, because as I mentioned earlier, the EBITDA multiple now is probably 9 times instead of 14.5 times, right?
Yeah,
If you buy a company at 14.5 times, 6 months ago or 9 months ago, you're paying a lot, right? So this is a good time for investors too.
Yeah, it seems that Jababeka keep proving to be the premium class industrial estate. Even in this outbreak situation, you also mentioned about. Can you tell us the effort that Jababeka has performed in the middle of this pandemic, sir?
Yes, I can little bit explain, Pak James, what we do in the pandemic situation like now. We give our tenant free disinfectant. We give our tenant free masks for the owner and the labor. Why do this? Because we are care to our tenant. We do the disinfectant to support our tenant, to support our government program. We give them the services like this to fulfill our commitment that even in the worst situation now, we can say worse, we can still support the customer. We can commit it. They said this is different,
So Jababeka stays there with the tenants, giving service excellence, and help the government also to give socialization about these pandemic situation and what should we do and to keep calm. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, agree.
Maybe do you have any strategy right now to keep stand out among other competitors, maybe, or maybe do you have any new marketing plan, a
Yes.
new site plan, maybe?
Yeah. Yes, Michelle. Little bit share, Pak James, about our program. Our program now, we still focus on the existing land ready in our phase A. This is the ready land for industry who want to investment in the fast way. Like I can explain, we have already phase 1, phase 2 until phase 8, and we want to open phase 9 actually. And for this moment, we have a program I can share with the audience that we have a free membership go, free maintenance charge for 6 months for the selected item, and especially our special treatment for the small medium enterprise, special to make the new cluster focus on the small medium enterprise. We call this the Jababeka cluster Bispark. We are focused to small medium enterprise, and we are welcome.
Small industries.
Yes, this is the location. We are focused and we are welcome to our new tenant from the small medium enterprise. Our building is already ready, already split the certificate, already issued the building permission. Don't worry, and we can provide the credit from the bank. This is our product.
So everything is ready. The new tenant just need to move in and
Yes.
start their production.
Yes, agree. Just move in.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Pak Rudy and Mr. Liauw. We are now opening our question and answer sessions. As I said earlier, there will be 3 prizes of 200,000 rupiah OVO digital cash transferred directly to 3 people. And I will read the first question. Okay, it's coming from Erwin Nugroho. Okay, I think this is for Pak Rudy.
Yes.
Yeah, is Jababeka affected by the impact of the rise and fall of the economy after this pandemic?
Yes, like I said already, I already explained before. Of course, there is no one business now not impacted by the pandemic, include of course the Jababeka. But we doing this optimism to still focus on our program, our business plan and everything, and we have full supporting by our BOD and our chairman that we are still focused we are still optimism with this situation. And of course we have a new program, like we all together with all Jababeka tenant hand in hand, to help to give the best effort to government, to hospital in West Java especially. We make the WhatsApp group, we make the real supporting, like our tenant donate the APD, donate the mask, everything. This is our commitment.
So we can survive together.
We can survive together, agree.
Okay, so the second question is for Jelita Jasmine. Maybe Pak Rudy has already mentioned about the products in our strategy. And then from Angela Utama, seems that all the options is more for conventional businesses. Is Redwood or investors open for startup investments? As a reference, for startup, usually the EBITDA valuation is an issue in the valuation will be based on other verticals. This is for Mr. Liauw.
Hi, Angela. That's a good question. We also help clients, startup clients, to deal with venture capitals. We venture capital investors, global one, regional, and Indonesian. So yes, we can help startup to raise, angel capital, seed capital, Series A, Series B, Series C capital. So the answer is yes.
Okay, so the third question coming from Michael Mustafa. I think this is for you, Mr. Liauw. Thank you for the presentation. I would argue that the main problem for Indonesian companies to access private capital is the governance. This doesn't apply to only small companies but also large corporations. Take the KKR that invested in Tiga Pilar Sejahtera in 2013. For example, in 2017, the TPS was involved in a rice scandal. So how should investors anticipate those kind of business practices?
Yes, I'm very familiar with that particular with TPS. Of course, we are very close with KKR. It's building or investing in emerging market, and of course, that's why the investors have to do the utmost due diligence to make sure that they're dealing with owner who are reputable, who are not who will not do terrible things to the company, the open company. So the investors, but it's very important for them to deal with them on the ground, people who are very knowledgeable about the landscape, about the players in Indonesia, who are good, who are not good, and so the due diligence, they have to do the utmost due diligence, and then if they have done that, that's the best they can do.
Okay, maybe we can jump to the next question. So this question is maybe representing some of our tenants because most of them are mainly in automotive. So this question is for the both of you, Mr. Liauw and Pak Rudy. So what do you think about the automotive manufacturer in 2020 after this pandemic? This question coming from Hesti Betawi.
Yeah, we still believe for the automotive business. Why? Because mostly of the Indonesia people is love to use the motorcycle, love to use the small car, car. Then I think for the next 2020 this year, the motorcycle business is still optimistic. The small car still optimism, but maybe for the big car, for the luxury car is I think slow down. So it's mean Bu Hesti, don't worry. I think for this 2020 the automotive market, especially that I said to you, motorcycle and small cars still optimistic.
Yeah, they can rebound. Yeah.
They can rebound.
Okay.
Please, Pak James.
Yes. Well, I think this year and next year will be quite challenging for them. Because the revenue, the businesses come down quite substantially.
Yes.
But again, I think we have to make we look at short term or medium term or long term. It's not. It shouldn't be a problem. It will come back. It will grow back because the needs for two-wheel transportation, four-wheel, still quite huge. 270 million people in Indonesia. So definitely, it's a good business. It's growing business.
Okay, agree.
Okay, and maybe I'm reading the last question coming from Dani Utomo. So this question is for Pak James. Valuation of company based on EBITDA. Now the situation is not good, and I think most company EBITDA go down. Is it only the latest year they consider, or maybe the average of several years EBITDA? Second, usually the investor come not directly invest as equity but convertible bond. How about your investor?
Yes, that's a good question. Of course, it depends. Well, the most relevant one the investors will use, of course, the latest EBITDA. But at the same time, they will consider seriously, what the past, let's say 3 years or 4 years track record, how company has been, with when this crisis is over, in 2 years time, 3 years time, we'll go back to the normal revenues and that. Yeah, they will consider the past 2-3 years EBITDA in the valuation of the company.
Okay, so the discussion has been very interesting, and I think we were going to close this question and answer by choosing the best questions of the day. We are choosing the number 1 is congratulations to Dani Utomo as the best question, first best question, congratulations. And then the second best question goes to Michael Mustopo, congratulations. And the third best question goes to Angela Utama. So for the 3 people we mentioned, please call our Jababeka hotline and send us your number, your OVO number, so we can transfer the price to your OVO account. Okay, thank you very much to our speaker, Mr. Liauw and Pak Rudy. Okay, thank you very much for a very interesting discussions today. Thank you, Mr. Liauw. We have also special token of appreciation for you, and we will send it to your address. And yeah.
Oh yes, let's stay safe. Be optimism. Be optimism. And regards from Jababeka, Pak James.
Yeah. If you
thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Pak Rudy.
Okay, Pak James, thank you very much.
Thank you very much also for the viewers.
Take care.
Watching from the beginning until the end of this discussion. We appreciate it very much. So we will be looking at you again for our next webinars. I'm Michelle. See you on the next topic discussion.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.